some way, something, some indicator, something, somewhere, some way, somehow, that if you apply it, it will prevent you from ever having to be stopped out. Fortunately, that thing doesn't exist. It can't exist. I've done articles, talks. Have you ever listened to the TED Talks? I'm gonna come up with a name for my talks because I do a lot of talks. If you've never checked out TED Talks, Google it. TED, as in short for Theodore. TED Talks, and it's really, really great stuff. You will learn stuff you didn't know. All right. The next market is the Russell. Let me log in. The Russell. Password. Okay. Log in. Okay. Here's the trade. Okay. There we go. Consider being long above 11.56. $11.56. Okay. Now I know your eye sees that deeper stop that I'm talking about. Here. Now, this came out at 10:30. So you had to be right on top of it. If you weren't, it gave you a second chance, it gave you a third chance to get long. And this one didn't pull back below the trigger. Okay? So from 11.56, if you're just looking for your, now again, you can use your 8-tick hard stop the way we've taught you all along. The drawdown on this candle would be 50. There's a 5-tick drawdown. Okay? Using an 8-tick hard stop, there's a 5-tick drawdown. Now, if you want to start embracing deeper stops for bigger targets, and then still getting your stop to break even, there hasn't been one good example yet of why it would benefit you. So that's why I want you to think long and hard before you start messing with something that we've used for years and it works incredibly well. There are going to be trades, there are going to be setups where you're going to go, whoa. So, again, not wanting you to rush out and change something tomorrow. Just want you to start watching the chart, okay? Because really, this is about you learning how to trade. I want you to learn how to trade so that you can be set free. So this thing takes off through 11.56. We get a swing high right here. Well, this swing high here is 58.40. From 56 to 58.40, that's 24 ticks. It's $240 per contract. Then we make this run. Now, if you've decided that you're going to use a larger stop to look for a larger target, you're probably not going to get out here. if you've graduated to multiple contracts, you may take off some of your contracts here. For instance, what time of day is this? Yeah, if you were trading, 10 contracts or 9, you might take 3 off here. Then on the second run up, this little pivoty area here where it just get this little pullback and then continuation. Okay. If you took off 3 there, 3 there, made for a nice trade. Now, swing high here is 64.70. So from here, let's just do the math. Swing high is 64.70. 64.70. 64.70. Oh, I really am going to break down and get a new solar calculator next time I go to the dollar store. This one served me well for about a decade. 64.70 minus 56 is 8.7. Now that's $870 per contract. Now we know we don't get out at the exact swing high. Why? Because we don't know that's where the market's going to reverse. When price starts pulling back like this, let's say you took off 3 of your contracts here, or maybe you're just trading 3. So you took off 1 here, and then maybe you took off your second one. As this thing's pulling back, maybe, we're going to go ahead and get out of the second one. And then as it moves back up, it starts to pull back again. Maybe you get rid of the third one. So you're going, well, then I should have just dumped them all here. Well, sure. That's if we had that kind of, psychic vision. If we knew for a fact where the market was going to reverse. Now, I don't know if we have a weekly zone up in that area. Let me look. Actually, we have a zone at 54.55. So what we're doing is we're getting long 1 point on the north side of the zone. As you know, we don't trade going into a zone, but we will trade coming out of a zone. So that makes even more reason, or gives me a greater understanding of why this did this and then pulled back into the zone. It didn't get all the way back to the zone, but it got close. And zones are an area, so that little diagram I always draw, that little N-shaped diagram. Now that's per contract, okay? The candle that initially triggered this trade, there was 1,500 contracts traded in this 5-minute period. See the volume down at the bottom? So could you trade 10 contracts in a market that does 1,500 contracts in 5 minutes? Well, the answer is yeah. Is it possible you'd get a little slippage on a couple of the contracts coming in and going out? Yeah. Will the bulk of them fill at your price? Well, if it's a limit price, it's going to be filled or you're going to be left behind, which is why it's better to try to trade on a stop, because as price trades through it, you're going to get filled on them all. Okay? So if you have earned your way up to, look at this big guy, 2,700 contracts in 5 minutes. Now see, on the overnight, The Russell, if you're trying to trade the London Open, the Russell's probably not your best choice. There's 5 minutes with only 6 contracts. But once we hit 3 o'clock, there's 45, 49, 29, 40. Okay? So, now, if you're trading 10 contracts here, this is an $8,000 trade. I'll say that again. $10 contracts equals $8,700. All right. Now, you can't just jump in and trade 10 contracts because you got the money. If you do, you get your head handed to you. You've got to earn. I'm really going over this to encourage you to actually stick to the rules, to trade 1 until you earn the right to trade 2. Put the time in until you qualify to trade 3. Ride it out until you qualify to trade 4. If you'll do that, you're building a solid foundation beneath your business. It will withstand the test of time. It will withstand troubled waters. Okay? Imagine coming in and sitting down and putting on a trade. Now, would this support 20 contracts? Sure. I can't say this loud enough. So, I'll use all caps. Okay. That's a true statement. This is why you want to use a hard stop always. Okay. So here's one side of the equation and here's the other side. The only thing separating you from this and this is time, experience. See, the difference between, I was in a mentoring session with someone the other day, and they, because they're relatively new to trading, they thought that they had to, if they were going to trade 10 contracts, that this one contract trade that we do, they thought they had to do that like 10 times. It's easy to misunderstand when you're brand new. And they were blown away when the revelation finally hit them. You mean that 1 point trade that I took today in the Russell, if I had on 10 contracts instead of 1, yeah, instead of 100, it's 1,000. But if you get stopped out, you're going to be down 1,000. Okay? The pendulum swings both ways. It's just a lot more painful when it swings the other way. Now, what does it cost to put this trade on? Intraday margins in the Russell are currently $500, and they have been for many years. S&P is 500, Dow's 500, the NASDAQ has been 500 forever, practically forever. And then all of a sudden the other day, because there was so much volatility, they bumped it up to 2,500. I've been told that as soon as the volatility dies down, it will go back to its normal margin. Now, they cranked crude oil up at one point here in the past year. They increased the margin. The day margin went to the full margin, and I think the full margin doubled, if I'm not mistaken, it was really expensive to trade crude there for a while because of the volatility. The brokerage firms have to protect themselves. Okay, so let's see if we trigger again off of this 1156. And yes, it should be 1156.1. So we come down. Nope. Look at the swing low. It's 55.9. It gets one tick below. It's really hard to get an order on and take advantage of that. I mean, does it really run up to 58.60? Yeah. Is there really 26 ticks, $260 or $2,600 hiding in that little candle? Yeah. Now, because we're on a 5-minute chart, do you actually have time to put the order on? You know, you actually do. Over here, this one runs up to 57.1. So that would be $100, $1,100 per trade, basically. Now, the short side of the Russell was 1147. Guess we'll just drop this at 1147. Or how about 46.9? Okay. All right. So we know we had an awesome trade there. It doesn't hurt to look down here at the slingshot and make sure that your cycle is running in tune with the trade, you know. See how we don't get much movement here? Look where your cycle is. It's red and headed down. It's flat across the bottom. In this instance, the color change isn't really as important as just the placement, the fact that it's below the 50. That's bearish, and you're, you know, taking a long trade here and here. Something to think about. Cycle is red and headed down. Maybe not the best time to take a long trade. I would prefer to have the cycle blue and climbing. And then once it breaks above that 50-yard line right there, which would be like on this guy, look at that. Now that whole trade took from this part, not counting this part, just from over here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's about a 30-minute trade. Nice half hour. All right, let me scoot it over to the right. And we run out of day. Now, these are 5-minute candles. Look how the volume falls off, right? You do not want to be trading the Russell at this time of day. You just don't. I think it's obvious. You want to be from here to here. So what time is that? 9:30? What time is that? 3:55. That's 5 minutes before Wall Street stops trading, the New York Stock Exchange. Futures continue to trade for another 15 minutes, and you can see it here on the chart. 5, 10, 15. Okay? All right. Let's wipe all this away. Let's take a look at crude oil. It's the 17th. Let's go find the 10:30 candle. Right there. $10.30. Okay. Now, gotta log in. Oh. Guess I forgot my password. That's it. Oh, come on. What have I done? What have I done? Oh, I got cap locks on. Lesson. Don't have cap locks on. Because even the right password won't work. Okay. I think we had two-sided action in Crude today. Long above 41.30. Yep. Okay, 41.30, 41.31. Okay, just write it down. Alert. Okay. Swing high is 41.51. So the alert's 41.30. You're going to buy 31 on a stop. The swing high is 51. That's easy to figure. That's 20 ticks. Okay. All right. And then on the short side, it was short below 40.50. Here, let me do this so I don't have to come back. And 40.50. 40.49. Okay. That was it. So somehow that doesn't seem right. Oh, because I was thinking about the concierge trade alerts. Oh, okay. There was two-sided action in the concierge trade alerts today, but we're just looking at the one trade a day. So the one trade a day, you got your alert here at 10:30. At 10:35, you triggered, and it put 20 ticks on the table. That means you had an opportunity to walk away with. You're not going to get all 20. You either get out at your hard stop of 10, that gives you your goal for the day, or you trail your stop, and if you trail your stop, maybe you get out with 15. Depends upon how you're trailing. You could be trailing behind the CFMA1, the BBC. When we do our class together, I'll show you a couple different ways. So, next we have gold. And proper password. Okay. So I'll make everything disappear. And on gold, we're going to be long above 1081. $10.30, $10.30, $10.30. Is that it? Oh. There we go. Okay. So today for gold, this was the trade. Long above 81. Now that's Not over here, because that's before the trade came out. It's got to be to the right. Short below 73. So that's pretty clear. Pretty clear-cut case here for 73. But what do we got to do? We got to drop it down one tick to 72.9. Okay. And the swing low. Now, here's one of those instances. It's the greatest example. So, now maybe I wasn't supposed to show you that. Maybe we're not ready to teach this yet. Maybe. It's the universe speaking to me. Okay. See, if you were going to use a larger stop than an 8-tick hard stop, I mean, if you were going out to, bag, quote-unquote, big game, put your stop right there. During that class, I'll teach you how to use Fibonacci price extensions to determine where you might expect your target to be. In fact, I'll show you real quick right now. Fibonacci price extension. That's a different animal than the Fibonacci retracement. You go from the swing high to the swing low, and then you drag that down to the high of the pullback. Leg, retrace, leg. Now, you can see that based on this price extension, look how that 38 extension lines right up with our entry. And the target, this is what's called a measured move. Leg, retrace, and then almost an identical leg. Different in shape, but almost the same in points. So I'll go into more detail with that. All right, so the swing low is 64.40. I'm going to write that down. 1064.40. Okay. All right. 1072.90 minus 1064.40 equals 8.5 points. So what's that worth? If you're trading one contract, it's worth $850. If you're trading the 2420 blueprint, because you really do want to learn how to become a consistently profitable trader, you really want to do the right thing, you're going to get out of this trade at your 10-tick hard stop. That's really what you're going to do. Okay? Now, this 72 up to this swing, well, up here. What did I put that? We'll call it 77. 73 to 77. Basically, you're risking 4 points, and the market moved 8. Now, using our Fibonacci tool, we could project into the future and see that that's a pretty good risk-reward ratio. I mean, there's no guarantee it's going to go that 100%, but that's what it did. It dropped from our published entry. Those of you that don't subscribe to the gold, of course, you know, I would never pull your leg, but there it is. Okay. And so Could you trade 10 contracts in this market at this time of day? Well, we triggered on that candle 3,554 contracts. Next candle, 1,000 contracts. Next candle, 2,500 contracts. Next candle, 4,400 contracts. Next candle, 6,000. So could you slip in there with 10 or 20? Yep. Is it possible you get slipped a tick or two on a couple of the contracts coming in and going out? Yep. Are you going to get out the exact swing low? Nope. Might you just decide to get out after this big green candle? Yep. That would still make for a pretty nice trade. Nobody's going to argue that. Now, this is the point where you really consider being done for the day, right? In fact, if you're trading the 2420 blueprint and you've made no other trades and this is your only trade, you're absolutely done for the day. On the pullback, to reset the trade, price has to get at least one tick above. Okay. This one didn't quite make it. And the day's pretty much over. Now, with that said, just as the concierge trade alerts are good for 24 hours, the one trade a day, they don't really expire until the next trade comes out the following day. For what it's worth. So, if you had stayed in that trade, I mean, we actually get down to 1062. So there's $2,000 of potential in this trade. But look at what you have to go through. You come within, I mean, at this point, you brought your stop to break even. If you brought your stop to break even, that right there would have stopped you out to the tick. Better to take the, $100 or the grand or the $8,000 and walk away. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? We looked at S&P, Dow, Russell, gold, crude. Let's look at the euro. Well, let's clear the playing field. $6E. Okay. And let's find our 1030 candle. Is that it? Oh. Yep. Euro CFRN. And password. And the trade of the day in the euro. Okay. All right, we're just going to do one more after this, and we're done. We only have one more. Bonds. Okay. This is when the trade's published, 10:30. Short below 106.40. 106.40. then one more tick. So here we don't get triggered. Here, if you're selling 106.39 on a stop, you're going to get triggered in right there. And then you've got an 8-tick hard stop, 9 and 8, 17. The swing high on this is 46. So you have a 7-tick drawdown, but you don't get stopped out. You sell 639 on a stop, price draws back, 7 ticks, 39 and 7 is 46, so you don't get stopped out. You do get an opportunity to take some profit from 639 down to 634. That's 5 ticks. Okay. Now, you could have done it another way, like right here. Got down to 35. That's 4 ticks. If your stop goes to break even, you get stopped out at break even. And then you do the same thing again. You could have potentially gotten stopped out at break even 3 times there. And it's getting late at night, but you finally get a couple triggers, another break even, some more break evens, and a little bit of something there, but just not a big day for the euro. Okay. We may replace the euro. I've been threatening for a while. It's just, I think it might be due. We haven't changed out a market in a while. All right, let's look at bonds real quick. Again. Password. Okay. ZBZ. 30-year U.S. Treasury bonds. Okay. Let's go to 1030. Market, keep an eye on it, and you'll see what I mean. The market will often reverse at 1030. Why? There's a few reasons. I'm not going to go into them tonight, but I will when we have our first class. 1030. Okay. All right. Let me put the trade up there for you. Okay, long above 153.12, short below 152.12. Don't think we got any dangers of triggering on the short side, but we'll drop a line, 152.11. And on the long side, 153.12. Got to bump that to 13. Okay. All right. On the first move up, this first 30-minute candle, I'm sorry, 5-minute candle. Remember, the alert came out at 10:30. We don't trigger in until 12:20. This is in the lunchtime lull when you're not, quote-unquote, supposed to be trading, right? Be careful. Be careful. Some of the stuff that you're asked to buy into. All right, the high of this candle is 153.20. So that's 7 ticks. Not bad. Swing high here is 153.29. Not bad. It's 154.03. High 154.04. Now, let's see if anything else exciting happens. No, that's pretty much it. That's That's one trade a day. All right. Now, at the first swing high, so you're in the trade 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. Okay. The high is 29. So 13 and 16 is 29. So we have 16 points, or ticks. Times $31.25 per tick equals $16 times $31.25 equals $500. $500 per contract. Could you trade more? You can earn the right to trade more. Okay? That's the key. Jumping in and trading it just because you got the money does not end well. Okay, now this swing high was 29. This swing high was well, it's the double zero. There's 32 ticks to a point, and then it starts over. So let's go to the extreme. Let's say you managed to hold it all the way over here. 154.0. If it went to 154.13, that would be 32 ticks. That would be $1,000 per contract. But let's say we got out at 154.03. So if there's 32 ticks to a point, then that right there is going to be at 154.03. That's going to be 22 ticks. So 22 times 31.25 equals $687.50. All that time we spent hanging around didn't increase. In fact, from 29 to 04, that's just 29. Yeah. From 153.13 to 154, that would be 1,000. So we're back 10 ticks out of that. So 1,000 minus, so it's $700. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, I'm not going to argue over a few pennies. Okay, so $500 at one contract. All right, let's see how many contracts were traded during that time period. When you trigger into a trade like that and it produces the largest volume bar of the day so far, that often bodes well for your trade. All right, 7,000 contracts in 5 minutes. So could you slip in there with 10 or 20? Yep. If you're in with 20, might you get slipped a tick or two on a couple contracts on one end or the other? Yep. Are you going to get out at the exact swing high and pocket $500? Probably not. In fact, it would make perfect sense if you got stopped out at the close of this red candle, which is 153.23. So from 13 to 23, that would be 10 ticks. If you got stopped out at the close of the red candle, okay, trailing with no indicators, just trailing with price action. If you got triggered out right there, I've had it, I'm done. That's still 31.25 per tick. It's 312.50. If you've graduated to 10 contracts, okay. All right. Now, I don't want you to let what I talked about at the beginning of the video shake you or rattle you too much. I'm talking about those larger, a larger time frame or a larger stop loss. I'm actually going to put something together that eases you into it. I realize I was a little abrupt and just kind of, but I'm not going to edit it out, because now I've rung the bell. Toothpaste is out of the tube. It'll get you to thinking. You'll start asking me questions, and see, when you ask me questions, it creates a teaching moment. And when you create a teaching moment, you learn how to trade. And that's why we do this. I mean, let's face it. Is it easier to spend an hour with you doing personal mentoring, no offense, or put on this trade and trade 10 or 20 contracts? I think you know the answer. There has to be a greater call on our life to do what we do. It's not just about the money. Now, we've created a nice revenue stream. We've built a good business. In fact, I think we have the best trading business on the planet. We're honest. Everything we do is transparent. We very much believe in integrity. We treat everyone with dignity and respect. We treat everyone the way we want to be treated. We treat people the way we wanted to be treated when we were trying to learn how to trade. Now, Michael was a couple years ahead of me, but when we met up, we were both struggling. I mean, he was writing code. He taught me, pretty soon we're both certified TradeStation developers. I mean, we're bebopping along and doing our best and buying stuff and writing stuff and staying up late. You've heard all the stories, all the truth. Now, the beauty of it for you is you don't have to go through what we went through. You can cut to the chase. You can shave years off of your experience, save tens of thousands of dollars on stuff that doesn't work, quite frankly, and blown up accounts. Because nobody handed us a 24/20 blueprint. We learned it the hard way from the ground up. Now, you could do that too. You could spend the years that Michael and I spent working and studying and going down blind alleys and doing the wrong thing, and but you don't have to. That's all I'm saying, is you don't have to. If you're watching this video, it's because you've already signed on as a 1 trade a day trader. And we're so glad to have you as part of the community, part of the family. I do want to try and do at least 1 class a week with you guys. I want to teach you whatever I can. I want to answer whatever questions I can. I think you saw tonight just the power of what's available, the potential that's out there. Don't try to short circuit the process, okay? Just because you sold your business or cashed in a CD or something, just because you can afford to trade 10 contracts, doesn't mean you should rush out. Just be patient. Just be patient. Learn to enjoy the quiet confidence of knowing that in any given room, whether it's Sunday school class or the company picnic or your nephew's graduation party, look around and there's a lot of wonderful people, God-fearing people, working hard, doing the right thing. And you know, based upon the published statistics by the Census Bureau and the Bureau of Wage and Labor, that there's a high probability that you earn more money than anybody else in the room. Now, if you become the loudmouth who has too many cocktails and starts bragging about how much money you make, pride cometh before a fall. I can't say strongly enough. Please don't become that guy. Walk with an air of quiet confidence, not arrogance. Kindness, gentleness. You've been given a great gift. To whom much is given, much is required. You'll learn that instead of being the braggart or the guy that pounds his chest, you'll be that gentle giant that's always there to help someone when they need it. Whether it's a friend or a family member. And I'll tell you something else too. You start telling people about how much money you make, you suddenly become the community banker or the family banker. Okay? And that's not good. All right? It's okay to be blessed. And it's wonderful to be a blessing. I mean, that's why God blesses us. He blesses us so that we can be a blessing to other people. He doesn't bless us just so we can be blessed. Well, I'm special. God blesses me. He blesses you for a reason. He sees in you that you're someone He can use. You're someone that will be faithful. See, whenever God blesses a man or woman, He does it through another man or woman. Now, we have something unique here with the markets. And of course, men build businesses, and some men become captains of industry. But we've chosen the road of trader. And so we'll be blessed financially through our work. And that will allow us to be a blessing to others. Whether it's your in-law that their cars broke down and they can't get to work and they can't get it fixed and the bus schedule's all messed up. And so, don't take a spoon and hit the side of a glass and go, I have a little announcement to make. Sally Joe over here, she's really been struggling. She's a single mom. And everybody goes, oh, actually people are thinking, gee, what a jerk. And you go, yeah, her car's broken down, but I just told her that I'm going to go to the shop tomorrow morning and I'm going to pay the bill. I'm going to take care of it for her. People are going to applaud, but they're going to whisper, what a nice jerk. See, I'm going to tell you a better way to do it. As you talk to Sally Joe, and she's, telling your story about the car, what mechanic do you have it at? Is he a good mechanic? Have you known him for a while? Have you given him the okay to do the job? Well, I didn't give him the okay yet because I've got to, talk to my boss, and I'm going to see about getting an advance on my paycheck. And okay, I hope everything works out for you. I'll be praying for you. Then the next morning you call that mechanic. You say, hey, you've got Sally Joe so-and-so's car. Yeah, I do. I'm waiting for her to call me to give me the okay to fix it. Fix it. Well, who are you? You're going to have to tell him who you are, but tell him, say, look, she's a relative, a cousin, a sister-in-law, whatever. I want to take care of this, but I want to do it anonymously. And he's going to go, is this some kind of a prank call? You go, no, here, let me give you my credit card number. You can go ahead and, whatever you estimate it's going to be. And by the way, how much is it going to be? And yes, we do want the parts. Put them in the trunk in a plastic bag and run my card. And when Sally Joe calls you this morning, in fact, I want you to call Sally Joe at 9 o'clock before she goes to her boss to ask for the loan. Just want you to call her and tell her that her cars are going to be ready at such and such a time. And when she brings up the fact of the money and the whatnot, then you just tell her it's been taken care of. And she'll go, what? By who? The person asked to remain anonymous. Now, she probably told 20 people at the party last night about her car troubles. She's probably told, anybody that'll listen. She'll never know it was you. 2 people will know. 3. You, God, and your accountant. And if you're married, you should tell your spouse. In fact, you and your spouse should be in cahoots together on this. And down the road, the temptation will arise. Don't spoil it. Okay? When you have those kinds of little secrets between you and your wife and God, you become like this. Remember the Mod Squad? Let's see, 1 black, 1 blonde, 1, I forget what the other one was. We're not black or blonde, so maybe it was beautiful. 1 black, 1 blonde, 1 beautiful. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Oh, you know what? We didn't look at soybeans. One last market. Hang tight. Now again, don't go get all upside down because I talked to you about different, stop losses, larger stops, and different time frames. Just keep doing what you're doing for now. I'm going to put together a real nice study course for you. ZSF6. Okay. 10:30 a.m. Imagine Sally Joe or Mary Jo, whatever we called her, imagine her testimony in her next women's group or Sunday school class when people start talking about the faithfulness of God and how God provides, and she stands up and gives her testimony about the goodness of God. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was so embarrassed to ask my boss for an advance. My mechanic called me out of the blue and told me somebody had taken care of it. Now, something else you can tell the mechanic is when she asked who it was, they asked to remain anonymous. But they did say they wanted one thing from you. And what? When you can, down the road, pay it forward. Huh? Down the road, when you can, help somebody else out. Okay, I will. And you know what? Chances are they will. You and I have the power to make this world a better place, one life at a time, one tick at a time. Why not do it? So many people could, but they don't. Yeah, you ever wonder why? All right, soybeans. Oh, I guess the protocol is I copy it. And I paste it. Long above 866, short below 854. I think we got a no trigger. No 866. Almost. Looks like it might be getting ready to trigger, but we never did 54. Never did 66. So that wraps it up. All right. I'm going to leave you be. Thanks so much for hanging with me. I've enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow morning in the live trading room. Take care.